Hi everyone, welcome back to Hobbies and More. Winter is here, and for winter plant lovers, this season comes with a few extra care steps to keep our plants healthy and happy. One question normally I get a lot of time in this year, that is, should I fertilize my house plants in winter? In today's video, I'll be answering that question and giving you a complete guide to fertilize your indoor plants during the colder months. I'll be sharing tips on how much fertilizer you use, which plants actually need it, and even some natural alternatives for those who prefers organic options. So grab a tea and let's dive in. First, let's answer the big question, do houseplants need fertilizer in winter? The short answer is it depends. Most winter plants enter a rest period or dormancy in winter because of the shorter days and reduced sunlight. During this time, they don't need as much nutrient as they do in the active growing season, which is usually spring. For dormant plants, it's best to reduce or even stop fertilizing entirely during winter. Adding too much fertilizer can lead to salt buildup in the soil, which actually can harm your plants. However, there are some exceptions. Let's start it. Now, let's talk about the exceptions. Some plants actually keep growing through winter, especially if they are placed in bright, warm spots. This include certain tropical plants, flowering plants like African violets and even some succulents. And there are plenty of plants they're actually blooming in winter season only. So if you have plants that are actively growing or flowering, a very light dose of fertilizer once in every 4 to 6 weeks can help support them. Use a balanced water soluble fertilizer and dilute it to about half or even a quarter of the recommended strength. Remember, it's better to under fertilize than overdo it, especially in winter. Next, talk about which type of fertilizer work best in winter. Liquid fertilizer are a great choice because they're easy to dilute, allowing you to control the amount of nutrients your plants receive. Simply mix them with water and you are good to go. You can use actually seaweed fertilizer. This is an excellent choice. I normally use it. Otherwise, you can use banana peels soaked in water overnight or onion peels which is soaked overnight in water. So those are also excellent. Now you can also use slow release fertilizer. But keep in mind that they release nutrients gradually, which may be too much for plants that aren't actively growing. If you do choose slow release, it's better to add them at the beginning of the growing season rather than in the winter. For organic options, I told you consider neutral fertilizer like banana peel or worm compost, tea compost. These are gentler on plants and can provide nutrients without risk of chemical buildup. So what happens? You accidentally over fertilize. Some common signs include yellowing leaves, burnt leafed edge, a white crusty buildup on the soil surface. These are indicators that plants are getting too many nutrients, which can damage its root over time. If you notice any of the signs, flush the soil by watering the plants thoroughly to help wash away the excess fertilizer salts. You might want to skip the next fertilizer dose as well to give the plant a break. To help your fertilizer plant properly in winter, here are a few key tips to keep in mind. Number 1, dilute fertilizer. Always dilute liquid fertilizer to half or quarter strength. Number 2, fertilizer actively growing plants only. Focus on plants that are still growing or flowering. Number 3, avoid fertilizing dormant plants. If your plant isn't actively growing, it doesn't need fertilizing. Water before fertilizing. To avoid root burn, water your plant before adding fertilizer. Number 5, monitor for buildup. That is, watch for signs of fertilizer buildup and flush the soil if necessary. Following these tips will keep your plant nourished without overwhelming them during the resting season. If you prefer a more natural approach, here are some gentler fertilizer option also I can give you. Number one is stick compost, that is a light organic option, is provide trace nutrients. Just add a small amount to your watering can. You can worm casting, you can mix a tiny amount of worm casting into the top layer of the soil for a slow mild nutrient boost. Banana peel water, another gentle option is banana peel water. Simply soak a banana peel in water for few days, strain and use the water to feed your plant. It's rich in potassium, which some plants love. These natural fertilizers are easy to make at home and provide a mild boost without overloading your plants with nutrients. So there you have it, a complete guide to fertilizing your houseplant in winter. To recap, most plants don't need much fertilizer in winter, but for few they are still growing, a light dose can help support their growth. Remember to dilute your fertilizer, avoid over fertilizing dormant plants, and try neutral options. You can prefer organic approach. I hope this guide will help you keep your plants healthy and thriving all winter long. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and if you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to Hobbies and More, and hit the bell icon so you never missed out any latest indoor gardening tip. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on next time Hobbies and More. Happy winter gardening.